1. Introduction. Why is space important? From the dawn of history, humanity's gaze at the sky has been full of questions and curiosity. Stars and planets have not only inspired myths and philosophies, but have always symbolized the unknown and endless possibilities. With the rise of technology, this ancient curiosity moved from the realm of imagination into reality. Today, space exploration is no longer a poetic dream. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry that can shape the future of Earth and humanity. Key reasons why space exploration matters. Survival security. Earth has limited resources and faces threats like climate change or asteroid impacts. Space settlements could serve as humanity's Plan B. New economy. From satellite internet to asteroid mining, space has become a vast potential source of wealth. Scientific progress. Every space mission brings new technologies back to Earth. GPS, smartphone cameras, advanced batteries, and more. Global cooperation. Space is where political borders fade, and nations work together toward common goals. For these reasons, entering the new space age is one of the hottest and most strategic topics of the 21st century. 2. A brief history of space exploration. 2.1. The start of the space race on 1957 was a turning point. The Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1, marking the beginning of the space age. The beep-beep of Sputnik on radios worldwide symbolized that humans could cross Earth's atmosphere. In response, the U.S. founded NASA in 1958. This was the start of the Cold War in space, where every scientific achievement carried political and military weight. 2.2. The Golden 1960 Zone 1961. Yuri Gagarin, first human in Earth orbit, Soviet Union. 1969. Neil Armstrong and Apollo 11. First human steps on the moon, U.S. These achievements were not just political victories, they led to technologies later used in everyday life. 2.3. After the moon, the 1970s and 80s focused on space stations. Salyut and later Mir, Soviet Union. The Space Shuttle Program, OS, enabling reusable spacecraft. 2.4. Global cooperation. The 1990s saw the start of the International Space Station, ISS, a joint project of the US, Russia, Europe, Japan, and Canada. 2.5. The 21st century. Privatization of space. Since the 2010s, private companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Rocket Lab have entered the field. Their innovations in reusable rockets drastically cut launch costs, moving space from government monopoly into real economics. 3. The role of governments in space exploration. Although private companies have grown important in the past 2 decades, governments remain the primary players. They built the initial infrastructure, laws, and core technologies. Here are the key space agencies. 3.1. NASA. OS. Founded in 1958 to compete with the USSR. Achievements. Apollo program moon landing. Space Shuttle. Hubble telescope. Mars rovers. Curiosity. Perseverance. And deep space missions like Voyager. Today, focused on the Artemis project, aiming to return humans to the moon by the mid-2020s. Build a permanent base there and use it as a launch pad for Mars. 3.2. Roscosmos. Russia inherits the Soviet space program, which achieved the first satellite, first human in space. Achievements. Mir space station. Key role in ISS operations. Today, still a major crew launch provider to the ISS, though SpaceX has reduced this role. 3.3. European Space Agency. ESA, a cooperative of many European nations. Achievements. Active ISS participation, Ariane rocket family, and missions like Rosetta, first probe to land on a comet. 3.4. China, CNSA, a rising power with rapid progress over the past 2 decades. Achievements: human spaceflights, Chang'e lunar probes, Zhurong Mars rover, and its own space station, Tiangong. Ambition: plans for human missions to the Moon and possibly Mars. 3.5. India, ISRO, known for small budgets but big achievements. Milestones: Chandrayaan lunar missions, Mangalyaan Mars, Orbiter, low-cost success. Significance: proved space exploration isn't only for wealthy nations. 3.6. Others: Japan, JAXA, Canada, Brazil, UAE, and smaller nations are developing programs making space a multipolar arena unlike the USSR bipolarity of the Cold War. 4. The rise of private space companies. For decades, space was government-only, too expensive and too secretive. But in the early 21st century, private firms disrupted the industry. 4.1. SpaceX. Founder: Elon Musk, 2002. Breakthrough: reusable rockets, Falcon 9, slashing launch costs. Key projects: Starlink, thousands of satellites for global internet. Falcon Heavy, most powerful active rocket. Starship, next-gen spacecraft for Moon, Mars, and beyond. Impact: turn the space economy from dream into reality. 4.2. Blue Origin. Founder: Jeff Bezos, Amazon. Focus: space tourism and commercial launches. Rockets: New Shepard, suborbital, and New Glenn, heavy missions. Vision: infrastructure for millions living in orbit. 4.3. Rocket Lab. Specializes in small satellites and affordable missions. Innovation: reusable electron rocket. 4.4. Others: Virgin Galactic, suborbital tourist flights. Relativity Space, 3D printed rockets. Axiom Space, building the first commercial space station. 5. Impact of space privatization. Lower costs. Launches dropped from hundreds of millions to tens of millions. Faster innovation. Companies are more agile than governments. Wider access. Universities, startups, and small nations can launch satellites. Competitive economy. Rivalry drives rapid progress. 6. Key technologies in the space industry. 6.1. Reusable rockets. Old model. Single-use rockets discarded after launch. Innovation. SpaceX proved rockets can land and be reused. Result: launch costs cut up to tens, sparking commercialization. 6.2. Small satellites, CubeSats, etc. Compact, shoebox-sized, but powerful. Advantages: cheap, launchable in clusters. Uses: global internet, Starlink, Earth monitoring, climate, agriculture, academic research. 6.3. Advanced propulsion, ion drives, fuel-efficient, long duration. Nuclear propulsion, power and thrust for deep space. Solar sails, futuristic idea using sunlight pressure. 6.4. 3D printing in space. Challenge: sending spare parts is costly. Solution: 3D printing tools and structures in orbit or on the Moon, Mars. Progress: NASA and private firms testing lunar regolith printing. 6.5. AI and robotics. Robotics, Canadarm on ISS, Mars rovers like Perseverance. AI, onboard data processing, navigation, pattern recognition. Importance: essential for deep space missions. 6.6. Space energy, advanced solar panels. Space-based solar power beaming energy to Earth. Small nuclear reactors for lunar, Martian habitats. 7. Satellite internet and everyday life. 7.1. The idea remote and poor regions lacked affordable internet. Fiber and ground stations were costly. A network of small LEO satellites became the solution. 7.2. Starlink, SpaceX. Thousands of interconnected small satellites. Global coverage from megacities to deserts and seas. Social impact, online education, telemedicine, digital economy for underserved areas. 7.3. Other projects. OneWeb, UK. Kuiper, Amazon. Telesat, Canada. 7.4. Challenges. Space debris risk. Monopoly concerns. Can one private firm control global internet? User terminal costs still high. 8. Human settlements in space. 8.1. Back to the moon. NASA's Artemis plus SpaceX partnership. Goal: permanent lunar base. Benefits: use of lunar ice resources. Training ground for Mars. 8.2. Mars missions. Challenges: long travel, 6-9 months. Radiation, life support. Solutions: underground sheltered habitats, hydroponic farming, robotic prep work. 8.3. Future space stations. ISS nearing retirement. 2030s. Axiom Space and others designing commercial stations. Future may include orbital hotels and factories. 9. The space economy. 9.1. Asteroid mining. Rich in rare metals like platinum, gold, nickel, potential to transform global economy. Companies Planetary Resources, Deep Space Industries explored this but stalled. 9.2. Space tourism. Virgin Galactic. Blue Origin offering suborbital flights. Future. Orbital hotels. Lunar tourism, multi-billion-dollar industry. 9.3. Manufacturing in orbit. Microgravity enables production of ultra-pure materials. Advanced drugs. Future stations could serve as orbital factories. 10. Challenges and risks. 10.1. Costs. Even with reusable rockets, space remains expensive. 10.2. Space debris. Hundreds of thousands of fragments threaten satellites. 10.3. Law. Politics. Who owns the moon or asteroids? Risk of militarization persists. 10.4. Astronaut safety. Radiation. Long-term weightlessness. Isolation big hurdles for Mars missions. 11. Future and conclusion. 11.1. Scenarios for the next 2050 years. 2030, 2040. Permanent lunar bases. Regular space tourism. Global satellite internet. 2040, 2050. Human Mars missions. Active commercial stations. Orbital industry. Post-2050. Semi-independent human settlements on Mars or giant orbital habitats. 11.2. Summary. Space exploration has evolved from a Cold War political race into a global multipolar industry. New technologies, falling costs, and private players make space not just attainable, but essential. Space is no longer only the final frontier. It is becoming part of the economy, security, and daily life of humanity's future. Support us with your subscriptions, likes, and encouraging comments so we can keep creating with even more passion and purpose. Every thought you share means the world to us.